he tried to stick it in. And I remember, ow, that hurts. So he stopped. And he would kiss me down there, make out with me down there, while he was jacking himself off. To the point where I would finish. And during that time, obviously, like, when your body releases, you enjoy that feeling. So I did. But during, I was always uncomfortable and I didn't want it. So I feel guilty because I enjoyed it. Not during, not after, only in those few seconds, whenever I would finish. I remember years later, whenever I got with my boyfriend in sophomore year, I told him about what had happened to me. And at this point, my mom had already left him. But I told him about it. And me and my boyfriend got into a fight. And he threw it into my face. And he was like, I can't remember the exact words he had said, but he was like, and I bet that's why he touched you and you liked it. And I looked at him so ugly and I was like, how could you say that to me? How could you throw that in my face? And that was the day I realized that he wasn't wrong. And so I feel guilty because I enjoyed those few seconds. I feel guilty because I never told him no, even though I was so uncomfortable. And I didn't want it to happen. I never looked for it. I never wanted it. But I was always put in these positions to where I felt like I couldn't escape it. And I would let it happen. I remember times because it became like a normal thing. So like it was always awkward after they would have the talks about it. But then he would act like nothing happened, so I would act like nothing happened. And we were all just living in this big secret, ignoring it. So because of that, I acted all the time like everything was fine. I never tried to run away. And I always ask myself, like, now why? Why didn't I try to run away? Why didn't I tell anybody else? There would be times where we would be alone, not at the house where I felt secure to be alone with him because it was in public-ish. I remember one time we were coming back from the store. Oh no, we were going to the store. We were in his truck, and he was like, or I had asked him if he could buy me something when we get there, like a snack. And he said this little comment, and he was like, well, what are you going to do for me? And I just remember looking at him, and this was the first time he ever like talked to me in public, like in person, like that, without being behind closed doors or like in a bedroom. And so when he said that, I was just like, never mind. And then he would laugh it off and like, I'm playing. And then I would just feel like quiet. I would go quiet, and I would just like, I remember going into my mom's room at night because I was like, I wanted to sleep with her. So I would go in there and I would lay with her. And while I was laid with her, he would be rubbing my feet with his foot. And I would like kick his foot away from me. I remember one time I was asleep with them, and I was on the edge. And he left from his side of the bed and walked to where I was at on the edge. It started like touching my leg from my ankle up. And I like hid it under the blanket because he woke me up. And I realized it was him because I seen his shadow standing there. I remember laying in my room one day with like both of my arms up like this, like that, and I was asleep. And I remember feeling someone like touch my arm like that with the back of their hand. And I got scared. I thought it was a ghost. So I got under the covers real quick. And then I remember he would like take my blanket off from on top of me slowly, like trying not to wake me up. And then I would just like pretend I was asleep and like grab them and turn around, and he would do this all the time. I could never get any sleep. After a while, he stopped doing it while I was awake. Maybe when I got older, and he just started doing it when I was asleep.